Okay, it is a Wednesday, 9:28 a.m., 2 minutes before the market first, January the 5th, and this is the main watch list. I don't really think I'll be watching BLFE anymore for morning panic bounce play. I might remove this, but if it does something cleaner than what it did the other day, I might be interested. AABB, I did end up trading this for a morning panic bounce play just because of how clean it was, but ideally I can do some kind of reversal setup with a really nice amount of volume. AXXA could be a morning panic bounce play, not too ideal because this one trades with a wide spread. HMBL, I'd like to see an uptrend, and maybe it's just consolidating and potentially you can uptrend later. RGBP could be a morning panic bounce play, although not super ideal. It could technically be one. It technically had 3 green days, but it wasn't the best. It could be better. OWUB, I don't really like this one in particular, but if it can do something clean, I'll be interested in trading it. ENZC is uptrending. I like to see it uptrend more. I like to see at least 3 green days, at least before I'd consider it for a morning panic bounce play. If it's stupid clean, I'll have to consider that, but it'll be less ideal and I'll be sized less. And this one, the last one, I just want to watch this one, see if it can uptrend and do something else and maybe have another green day. But if I had to guess, it might not be able to do something like that, but it can totally do whatever it wants regardless of what I think. And that's what I have for right now. I'm just going to focus on morning panic bounce plays. It is 9:41. I want to go over 2 setups. I traded one of them. First one was AABB. This could have been a morning panic bounce play. I was watching it and right around here in the 13.9s, but I really wanted it to have this panic and then a little bit of an uptrend, and then it kind of comes back, tries to get near the low, maybe not necessarily get there, a double bottom, or maybe just breaks it a little, but it immediately comes back. But no, this stock literally just shot up, right? It didn't do anything like that, Sam, because it just shot up like that. It just seemed a little too risky for me, so I never gave it any money and I just let it be. But it could be a potential, higher low, lower low. If it decides to do something, maybe a double bottom off of this panic low. Now that it has, spiked and shown that it can do a move towards the upside too. I did trade not BLFE. Which one is it? No, it was AXXA. This one was sketchy. Now I didn't do my best selling here, but let me just go over my entry in AXXA first. I was in at 938. Right here, I liked how, right here was the previous big volume candle. This ended up being the big volume candle, but I liked how there was just so much volume going by, and it was still able to hold this 651 level, and there was also a lot of bidders at 6.5. So with that in mind, I'm going to uninstall Malwarebytes. It has that pop-up every day, but I went ahead and was long here at that level at 938, and then I sold 3,000 shares at 939, which was right here. This was my issue. I was in at 659, and I saw it was a bit higher, but I didn't realize how little it was compared to my entry. I was in at 659, and I sold at, okay, I'm selling at 66, which is higher, but I didn't at the time take into consideration that I was up just a tiny amount from my entry price, and I should have just gotten used to that and have taken that into consideration, because I know this thing trades with a wide spread sometimes. So when I was in, and I saw that it was just a bit higher than my entry, I thought it was a lot more than just that. I probably would have held my position if I knew that it was just a small difference from where my entry was, because at the time here I bought, which was the ask. It became the bid, and then it went a bit higher at 6.6, and I thought, okay, it's a bit higher, but I didn't think it was up that little from my entry price. So if I knew that, I would have held longer and I would have stayed put, with my risk level at 6.5 breaking. So that was the screw up I had there. And then I sold 500 shares thinking I was going to be a profit at 656, which wasn't, just a small difference off of 659. I'm still profitable on this trade, but I traded this one like a dumbass, honestly. And right now the bid is at 682 by 689, so that's pretty impressive. I would be dumping my shares. I would have been out at 6.7, which is at the bid, throughout this range, if that, was something I was able to do. But I need to really just not freak out and be in consideration what my entry is and what the current price is and what distance is that from, you know, those two levels. And again, if I knew I was that close to my entry price, I would have you know, I would have held, and I would have gotten out clearly if it were to have broken this level right here. But that was not the case. And then I thought the 500 shares I was selling here was going to be at a profit too, so I'm a dumbass for not taking that into consideration. I was still profitable. At least I didn't lose anything, but you know, I could have sold this thing at 67 pretty easily. And yeah, that was just dumb what I did there. There's nothing else that I'm too interested in. I don't want to trade this for a morning panic balance play because it's you know, it was only up one day. BLFE is a higher priced OTC, and this one like just keeps failing like it did the other day. It's gonna try to turn around eventually. I might try to be a part of that, but if I am, I'm gonna trade a small position because it's a higher priced OTC. It's not ideal, and it shows more often than not that it's not able to, you know, make a bottom. If anything, it just keeps breaking it. I was watching OWUB. This one was worse than AXXA. It had a wider spread, and it seems like it would have been kind of hard to trade this, but I'm sure there was a setup there, and it could have been possible to sell that one profitably. Yeah, I was just a complete idiot with my entry and sell there. And yeah, it doesn't help because it's kind of annoying when you place an order on Fidelity. Everything gets cleaned, and then you have to type the ticker and the, you know, cells and everything. And at this point, I was at I had like a partial fill, and you know, then I was like, how many shares do I have, you know, to place another order correctly. It was something I just need to keep getting better at, and I think I can do better over time with just experience. Just really dumb that I did that, but as for the pattern itself, it wasn't bad at all. And yeah, I just need to get good, I guess. That was so stupid. I hope I'm not that dumb anymore, but I'll make an update later to see if there's any other setups. I will be looking at BLFE, but that one is very speculative. Alright, it is 9:50, maybe not much longer after that previous recording. I did trade BLFE, and I wonder how much this one can do. I traded a mega small position because higher priced OTCs, they don't seem to work that well. And yesterday, again, it was continuously, you know, downtrending and breaking the low again and again. But why was I in at this point at BLFE? I was in at 104.948, which was right here. 104 was my entry, and I was out the next minute, I believe. Yeah, 949, which was right here. I sold my shares at, well, I guess that's when I placed my order at 949, but I got filled at 110, so I was filled this minute right here at 110. So my sell was here, and my buy was right here. My buy here, my sell right here, and this was a morning panic bounce play. And again, why was I in this one? Because it was right by this clear round number of $1, and on top of that, there was also a lot of people at the bid at $1 supporting it. As you can see, they're still there. So you know, it was trading not necessarily at the low at $1, although it did here briefly. It was a bit of a higher range, you know, so it's above this $1 level. The bid isn't at $1, it's at a higher price. And you know, like, okay, worst case, I'm in, you know, at 948, and right here, you know, worst case, it just goes back to $1, and I'll be able to sell at $1 before it breaks $1, because there's so many bidders, you know, in theory, at the bid at $1. So that's why I was in there, and I put a sell there at 110, and you know, it was kind of like in the middle, because as you saw maybe earlier in the video, it was like 118 at the ask, but it wasn't actually hitting 118. And I had my sell there right between the bid and the ask at 110, and I was able to get filled. Just 50 shares. I'm not sure how much I made here. It wasn't very much. If it was something considerable, because in terms of percentage, because of the fact that, you know, I didn't trade a lot of shares, being, you know, just a higher priced OTC that might not work as well. And you know, it trades with a bit of a spread too, not too crazy, but it does have a range that it likes to trade off of. So that's what I had. in terms of, you know, what I wanted to do with this setup. And as for AXXA, it did get as high as 69. That was so dumb, my trade here. I hope I don't do something like that anytime soon. And I'll make an update later, but at this point I'll just be casually watching. There's nothing really that I'm too interested in trading. You know, that's like super ideal for me. ENZC keeps uptrending, which is ideal. I would say this could be a dip at VWAP, but you know, a setup there. However, it doesn't have the best daily chart. The volume isn't like mega massive. It might just continue the downtrend and break under this level, but it could totally hold it and do something. I'll just watch that. I'll probably just be looking at ENZC or anything else that I might have missed in terms of OTCs that I might be running, but at least I was able to trade much better BLFE. I'm happy with the way I traded BLFE. Super dumb the way I traded AXXA. It is 10:03 and I want to make an update with ENZC. I'm pretty sure I went over this. If not, I'm sorry, but this thing actually did a dip towards VWAP, and it's actually pretty impressive. And even though it has this ugly daily chart, it still did it. So that's pretty impressive, unusual for this market. I think for a stock to do something like this, especially this one, it's pretty nice. And if this thing can close strong today, it can be 1, 2, 3 green days, and then that's pretty much all I need to start considering this for a morning panic bounce play. I don't know if I've traded this one before. Let me just take a look on my computer. Yeah, I've never traded ENZC, and this is one of those OTC runners that was, you know, making a nice move initially, and I was just never able to trade this one because I was still learning about trading OTCs. I was transitioning from listed stocks to focusing primarily on OTCs, and this was, you know, something I never traded, and that'd be kind of cool if I could get some kind of redemption and be able to trade it. I'm currently on hold with my broker to see if I can get my shares at AXXA back. That was so dumb, the way I traded that. Jeez. And there's not even, this is like the second time I've done something that dumb before, like in selling, you know, something just barely above or right at it, or in this case even 500 shares at a slight loss. Again, my freaking entry at 659. At least I was on the right track, but that doesn't buy me anything, being on the right track. You know, there's no being on the right track IOUs that I can use. No, I just need to get better, and you know, I hope this can push me. It's not like I would have sold this thing right now at 71, but you know, it was very easy. After this candle was formed at 940, you know, when I freaking sold my last position, it never came back to freaking my entry price. It never got to the risk level. It never did any of that. This was just a very nice morning panic bounce play that I unfortunately screwed up really badly. But I'm glad it offered that opportunity. At least I can say I've traded this once already profitably, a morning panic bounce play with AXXA, but this one would have been pretty nice too. And I'm guessing I made maybe $2 or $3 from BLFE, which was a smaller position, I believe. I did trade, in theory, smaller with AXXA just because of the fact that it trades with a spread. It was 3,500 shares. I just want to see what my position was anyway. Right, that would have been a $230 position, but still, that was pretty nice what it did here. And yeah, I was just pretty cool, pretty happy to see this with the ENZC. I don't think there's anything else I'm going to really trade today, but I'll keep looking. Yeah, just pretty dumb with AXXA, but I hope any of you guys watching this can learn from that, just to not be so shaky, and just to remember that, you know, even if you feel like you're in a moment and you just like forgot everything, at least, you know, remember, just cut the trade if it cuts, you know, under, if it breaks under your risk level. That's all I have to say for right now, and I'll just keep watching. But again, nothing too clear at the moment. Okay, it is 10:09 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. I may just $3.11, and that was with 2 trades AXXA, which I could have done very nicely. I could have traded for a lot more profit than what I did, but I think I learned the lessons there, and I'll try to make them again. In BLFE, I was profitable with this one, and it actually did a very nice move. Not just the morning panic bounce play, which I traded here, my sell at 110 if it wasn't this candle. Yeah, it was definitely this candle, and it actually did a double bottom. I just thought it was a little too weird to try, you know, for the same setup, a little degenerate, but maybe I just need to get more hungry, especially because I will not be trading tomorrow because I have an appointment and it's like right at the market open, but maybe after that I will be looking for any potential setups, but that would be something later in the day, so maybe not. But yeah, that was a nice move here, and you know, it went here from 106 to, I mean, freaking 150. That's a 50% move. Obviously, I would not have held that long for something like that. I probably would have been happy selling slightly above VWAP, especially with this little top right here at 115. A sell in the 113s and maybe an entry at 106, so not the best range I thought compared to this right here, but very nice because it was playing off of this round number $1. You don't get that all the time, but when it plays off of a certain level like that, $1, 1 cent, 50 cents, $2, $5, something clean, $10, it seems to really work out. And this was best case scenario, really, because it went not just, you know, red on the day to VWAP, it got above VWAP. It didn't just get above VWAP, it broke the day high. It didn't just break the day high, but it also finished green on the day. This was the most ideal. And in terms of the other one, this one wasn't interesting because it was only up one day. I never wanted to trade it. OWUV wasn't really something interesting either. ENZC actually did offer a nice uptrend. Unfortunately, it did fade later in the day, but you know, I'm not really the guy to trade later in the day panic bounce. But yeah, this one was actually kind of profitable here, and also did a nice move there. So that was a thing there. And then with HMBO, not too ideal that it's fading. It would have been nice if it kept up trending. ENZC could do anything tomorrow. It could downtrend, maybe make a morning panic bounce play. It might consolidate, who knows. But I won't be here tomorrow again. RGBP, nothing besides maybe a very choppy morning panic bounce play, not the most ideal thing. And yeah, that's really about it. AABB did do one. I just hated the way it did it. I never gave it any money. I'm gonna call it off here. At least I had, which is what's been my goal, getting, you know, 5+% gains at least. I was able to do that with BLFE, but I could have done that as well with AXXA, or at least sold for a lot better. But at least I was on the right track. I just need to get more confident in terms of selling and keep pushing it. And I really do want to size up. A little salty that I could have traded maybe 100 shares with BLFE and still have been in my dollar risk level. But you know, higher priced OTCs don't tend to work that well. This one was clearly the exception to the rule. That's all I have for today.